Good afternoon, everybody. Paul Subject here, Subject Motorsports global headquarters in beautiful and quite cold and wet Burlington, Ontario, Canada today. It's the 24th of May, just after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that the car is now ready to go for our next race on Father's Day weekend at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. It is the Verac Vintage Grand Prix. I hope you can attend in person if you can. You'll enjoy a great race with almost 200 cars, all vintage, driving around that fantastic track at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. But what I wanted to talk about today, I just want to spend a few moments talking about what we call the nut and bolt activity in the car. And this is preventative maintenance at its finest, where we go through the car after each race and after each race weekend to make sure that the critical fasteners are tight and are in good shape. So I just want to talk a little bit about that. So some of the fasteners we would look at, for example, this is the front upright, and that long bolt that goes through the front upright and through that rod end has a bolt at one end and a nut on the other. We check those. There's a bolt at the bottom. You can see that there's a nut on the bottom of a bolt that protrudes through the rod end there at the bottom of the upright. We also check those. Every place that you see a nut and bolt on the race car, we double check that they're tight. In some cases, they have a factory spec for torque. In other cases, we just put our impact pack gun on them and make sure that they're tight. So that includes the bolts on the other end of the shock at the rocker arm here. So there's the rocker arm here. As I pull back, you can see the rocker arm that's attached to the upright. Those fasteners are very important. Included is the bolt at the bottom there that holds the shock on. Moving to the back of the car, of course, we also check all the tie rods before we go to the back of the car. We check all the tie rod bolts, those. We check the fasteners that hold on the calipers, and we check all of the lock nuts on all of the rod ends. So you can see the lock nuts there at each one of the rod ends. The reason we do that is that during racing, all of these fasteners can loosen off, and if they do loosen off and it creates a vibration, they can actually fail. And so we want to make sure that we follow through on those after each event. And the other thing that we check very closely, and this is kind of a complicated view, but you can see it right here, is the rear CV joints. So there's an axle, a half shaft actually, in between the transmission, differential, and the rear uprights. And of course, we check all of those nuts and bolts. So you can see those nuts and bolts there, and right in there is the inside of the CV joint, and there's Allen bolts there, and we check those as well. So the reason we do that is, first of all, we don't want parts falling off the race car, number one. But number two, we also don't want something to fail when we're at speed at a high-speed racetrack, especially like Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, where we go upwards of 145 miles an hour on the back straight. And having suspension pieces break or fall off because they're not tight is super important. So as I said, all of these little nuts and bolts, we check them after each race and after each race weekend. And if we find anything that's broken or stripped, we replace it. So if you have any questions, always let us know in the comments. We're now finished our preparations. We have to get some fuel. But other than that, we'll be ready to go for the Father's Day weekend race. And we want you to follow us on our YouTube channel, as well as on our website, www.subjectmotorsport.com, and as well as our LinkedIn page. Have a great day, have a lovely weekend, and make sure you watch all the races tomorrow on Sunday, Indy 500, the Monaco Grand Prix, and of course, the Coke 600 NASCAR race. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.